Astro friends, it's Melanie on the 17th of June 2024, and we are in the solstice week. Summer solstice will be this year already on the 20th of June because we got a leap year here. So the date is slightly earlier, the 20th of June at 2 p.m. 1:51. I saw in my calendar, but my astrology program took me to 2 p.m. So 9 minutes, give or take. But what matters is that we are also in the solstice week from the 17th, started today, the 17th of June, and goes until the 24th. What am I saying? What do I mean by that? We are now in the week of the year with the longest daylight hours. We have 16 hours plus 6 minutes of daylight here on the 49th, 48, 49 latitude on the Pacific Northwest. So that's pretty much the same around the same latitude. Higher latitudes even have more daylight hours, and then we have, of course, you could have, of course, the midnight sun, right? If you're at the Cape, where I told a friend yesterday that I was in Norway at some point, the land of the midnight sun in July, and I looked up the photos today and edited those, so that were sweet memories, very apropos the Cancer moon and Cancer Venus now. Yes, we are moving more into the Cancerian realm, first water sign. Mercury and Venus are already in Cancer since today and yesterday evening, and the sun will join with summer solstice. What is up this week? So we have quite the week here of transition out of spring, out of Gemini, late Gemini with Gemini undertone, to summer, to Cancer, to early Cancer, which has a Cancer undertone. Quite a shift from air to water, from thinking, information, communication to feeling and to instinct. First water sign of the year, of the zodiac year, is Cancer, of course, where it's all about nurturing, caring, sensitivity, memories, dreams, reflections, feelings. So all of that super important right now. And typically it's also the notion to feel safe, to feel cared for, to have also something, a living being to take care of. That could be a plant, that could be your pet, that could be your children, ideally, right? And that's also the inner child. So the Cancerian realm is starting as also the school is ending, the school year here in North America is ending after the Gemini season. Families and tribes come together for gatherings, for picnics, for barbecue, for beach time, all of that, very Cancerian. Yeah, so a relaxation and connection, super important, especially family, and who is your spirit family also, right? That is all Cancer, depending where Cancer is in your chart. Let's say Cancer is in your 11th house of friends, right, and community. That's where you find family quite strongly, right? Your tribe, your spirit connection. Or you might have Cancer in your, let's say, 10th house. In your 10th house, it's actually about your career. So it's possible that you are actually quite at home in your career world, and you might, in consequence, neglect a little bit your private life, right? Because that is often the case, actually, this reversal, right? Where, for example, Cancer, which rules the 4th house, is in the 10th of the career house. That is often the case when your rising sign is Libra, because your first house then is a Libra house. Your second would be a Scorpio house. That is opposite of the natural rulership. And so there can be some how to say, discrepancies to reconcile. And it all starts with a good relationship with yourself. And why am I saying that? Because relationship is very Libran, and the self is shows up in astrology at your ascendant and first house, right? So I'm getting a little sidetracked, maybe influenced by Libra rising clients. I think there were 2 in the last few days. And yeah, just some random astro tidbit. What's going on this week? So back to that, let me just get my little cheat sheet out, and I will post this also on not on YouTube, but on Facebook and on Instagram. Right? So the overview in a written form, in other words. Right? Yes, so we have now end of Gemini. So we're in the last 10 days of Gemini, June 11th to 20th this year. And that has a Gemini undertone. So you probably have noticed in the last few days a lot of communication, a lot of interaction with people, a lot of interest, curiosity, need for diversity, no boredom, right? And you might have also, had the tendency to overdo it and get inundated and expose yourself to so much, like it's called binge watching and stuff like that. So that can be also an effect of the sun. So first it was Mercury and Venus, and soon the sun on the 20th in square with Mercury, end of Pisces, and Mercury also being stationary, moving very slowly from Earth perspective before it goes retrograde on July the 2nd. So that combination of the Gemini effect and Neptune in Pisces can be quite a strong whirlwind of information, of media, but it's also a beautiful time for prayers, for blessings, for invocations, for also changing vibration of our language, right? And of our and also giving words, on the other hand, with Gemini giving words to spiritual experiences. So all of that very apropos Gemini and Pisces. Then we have, as I said, we are moving into Cancer with summer solstice, which has an extra Cancer undertone. That will be this year from June 21st to June 30th. The last 10 days of June are double Cancer. So if you're born at that time also, then your sun is double Cancer. And for you, these themes around home and family, children, super important. Also, inner child and all this. So that all again depends on which house your sun or other Cancer planets are in, and also which aspects those planets, the sun and the moon, might have. So I'm always generalizing with this, and astrology comes to life more fully when we look into your very personal cosmic map, your birth chart, and then themes really emerge more clearly and more concretely. And if you have come to me in an astrology session with something that is currently on your mind, on your heart, and would like to get guidance through the astrological lens, then also your chart would really come to life and would really speak. And it's really often quite magical what comes forward. And it's also supported by tarot cards, which I use as well, blended with astrology for more than 20 years already, because the astrology sessions are happening here in my practice already for 24, almost 24 years in August. And can't believe it sometimes, right? So the Cancerian energy that's coming up is also beautiful to honor the whole trajectory and go back in our memories to sweet, sweet episodes of the past. Yeah, anyway. Now, speaking of Cancer in the moon, we are currently in a waxing moon phase and coming towards the full moon. The first full moon in summer will be on day 2, or actually on the full day 1 of Cancer on the 21st of June, right on the cusp of Capricorn and Cancer. So one day after summer solstice, or actually less than that, right? So we have a waxing moon currently in Scorpio. Let me go back to that a little bit. Currently in Scorpio since yesterday evening, late evening, all day. I'm speaking of Sunday the 16th. Now all day Monday today, 17th, all day Tuesday the 18th until Wednesday the 19th at 9:32 a.m. Pacific. And this magical Scorpio moon energy also connects really well with Gemini regarding an energy of alchemy, right? The two Gemini and Scorpio are both alchemists in different ways. I think I mentioned that last time. And here it is again, a short version. So the Gemini alchemist is more the bringing together and alchemizing, transforming polarities, right? Rather than living in a world of polarities and discrepancies and this and that doesn't go together. So this is the whole art of union of opposites with Gemini. And with Scorpio, the alchemy is more an emotional. It's a water sign. It's the deepest, most intense water sign, where things come up that we can't ignore. They might have been hidden, and now it's up. And that's for better or worse, right? Or for worse or better. Usually Scorpio has a bad reputation. So typically like, oh my gosh, this is like terrible, all the stuff that comes up. But that can be also a good thing, because we might have repressed and hidden things from others and from ourselves. And Scorpio helps us process that, right? And that, of course, is also alchemy. It's basically the alchemy theme. That is an emotional one. Like typically, the alchemists in the Middle Ages had this metaphor to transform lead to gold. So you can also say to bring heavy, sticky, unconscious material to our consciousness and transform it into pure light of consciousness. That's quite something with, that's the scorpionic notion, right? Then the moon will be in Sagittarius on summer solstice. Well, let me just show you the summer solstice chart at that occasion. Here it is. The sun just entering Cancer here. 000. You can see it here, my table. 000 Cancer. And as I said in my program, it's 2 p.m. It might be a bit earlier, it could be a bit off, I'm wondering. But what matters is, like, here is Venus and Mercury already in Cancer, leading the way, and even more of an energy of emotionality, home, family, anything that gives us comfort, especially, as I said, emotionally. And sensitivities come up that we need to take care of, and also maybe show some vulnerability and be heart connected, be compassionate, caring. All these things come up with Cancer. finding our tribe, right? Then this solstice sun is also in T square. It's the apex, it's the top, right, of a T square between Lilith here at the very end of Virgo, and here we have Neptune stationary, about to go retro at the very, very end of Pisces. So Lilith and Neptune are also this week in opposition. And that doesn't happen very often, right? Because Lilith has a 9-year cycle. It goes, it meets Neptune every about 10 years, and 5 years later it goes into opposition. But that happens only every about 10 years. So what's that about? So we have a polarity that wants to meet and wants to be bridged, right? Between this Lilith in Virgo. Lilith in Virgo can be, you know what I found in the last while, being born with Pluto in Virgo. Pluto was in Virgo from 1957 to 1971. Now I can guess my age, somewhere in that range. So that's when Pluto was in Virgo. And also Uranus came into Virgo in the mid-60s, but the Pluto factor is very much about transformation and empowering of the feminine, of women at work, feminism, and all of that. And I heard from a friend in Germany this whole motto that I've heard a lot in the past, and that's called like Powerfrau. In other words, power woman. That's very apropos Pluto in Virgo. But now here is Lilith, right? So Lilith says, come on, do you really need to be a power woman? Do you need to be all, you know, always busy, always strong, always powerful? Lilith says, what's really the work and the work that matters, the work that is not about you know, um, like a work equality and all of that, and being honored for the quality of your service and all that. It's actually being more instinctual, more primal, beyond, before that whole theme with Pluto that Pluto has brought up societally, evolutionarily in history. It's more about being in our unconditional sense of integrity, right? So Virgo is about integrity, integrity of body, mind, spirit. Our body, our home, our work, our anything is a temple, right? That is sacred. So doing the sacred work matters more than being really powerful in that regard, right? So, but it can totally be two sides of a coin, right? So don't want to be too picky about that, but it's just some kind of sense of like, yeah, man, power, that kind of thing. That's what Lilith in Virgo would say to Pluto in Virgo, all right? Anyway, and then we have Neptune in Pisces. Neptune at the very end of Pisces. It's about to go into Aries, but not quite yet, not this year, just shy of going into Aries. Neptune will turn retrograde at like 29:55 or so, Pisces, right on the cusp to Aries. And yeah, and it's opposite Lilith currently, or Lilith's opposite Neptune. So what's with this Neptune, very end of Pisces, also Pisces undertone? Yeah, so everything is coming together, which can be a big sort of convergence of energy, which can be also a big tsunami, energetically speaking, right? An overwhelm, an inundation of energy and information, all of that, right? All showing us that it's all connected, right? All is an expression of the one, which can mean very practical things, but it would be ultimately really a spiritual phenomenon, right? And with Neptune there, would say yes, being in the one, and being um, in a vibration that connects is what matters. And Lilith is in Virgo, and in Virgo the emphasis more on doing and on aligning, right? So it's also this theme around being and doing, and you could say also doing gets better when being in a good vibration and connecting, right? So these two are here in opposition, while the sun crosses over what I call the nesting point from Gemini to Cancer. And this is where birds find their nests. Actually, it was very sweet just now. There were two birds on the railing of my balcony, and one kind of got trapped behind my flower baskets and wanted to get out. But there was this glass balcony that was sort of the boundaries, was the obstacle, and I got really nervous and got really stressed out. So I was like slowly escorting this bird towards the where the gap is by like opening, and it was such a relief. So beautiful to see the birdie find its freedom again. So freedom also flying and then landing in a nest, right? So find your way home is the theme with Cancer. Yeah, so summer solstice is coming. We are all walking each other and ourselves home is a beautiful expression. I forgot who coined that, but it keeps coming up. And yeah, so as I said, shortly after, the day after, we'll have the first full moon of Cancer. There will be two, and also the first full moon in summer. And it will be obviously in early Capricorn, right on the cusp. Here is the full moon chart. So you have the moon here on the first degree of Capricorn, opposing the sun, the first degree of Cancer. And now this T-square that we had extends into a grand cross. A grand cross that is slightly, barely mutable here from Virgo being a mutable sign, and Pisces, but also cardinal from the Cancer Capricorn axis, right? That's super rare. So it is basically all the four corners are on these sacred turning points of the year, of the spring equinox, right? Where you have Pisces, Aries, that's where Neptune is. Summer solstice, that's where the sun is. Fall equinox, that's where Lilith is. And winter solstice, where the moon is. So this is quite a very crucial full moon. Typically, full moons bring themes to fruition. Now, there's a bit of paradox because it's the first full moon of summer. What does it bring to fruition? And it is a transition, of course, right? So it is a fruition of spring, of course. And it is also, with the Capricorn emphasis, also a theme of something is coming to fullness. And that can even reach over, I should say, to Pluto, going back to Capricorn in the summer season from September 1st on to November 19th. And so even signaling that full moon, signaling also a fruition of old structures, of old, I call them old empires that expire, the old worlds that are going extinct, for better or worse, right? With Pluto, and especially the shadowy part of it, right? Shadowy part would be shadow of Capricorn, is the hierarchical domination that we've had over centuries, with all its shadow of corruption, slavery, exploitation, and so on, right? So, but on the other hand, it's also a beautiful full moon that guides us to this early Capricorn winter solstice energy, which is all about, it's really a calm and very grounded energy, right? While on the other hand, we're moving into summer where everything is out and coming out into the light. It's the height of the light meets the darkness of the calm and grounded energy, right? And with the moon, with the full moon in Capricorn, it's a lot about integrity on this integrity cusp, integrity point cusp, winter solstice point from Sagittarius Capricorn. So it's also about implementing what we know, walking our talk, and all of that, being the wise elder, bridging the energy of ancestors, elders with Capricorn, with those of the young ones and the children and families on the Cancer side. So it's a beautiful time for gatherings, for multi-generational gatherings, and so on. I will write about the full moon in the next few days. The summer solstice blog post is already out, and you can find it on my blog. I just posted that today. So what else is going on? Where is the moon going? The moon will continue to be in Capricorn until the 23rd. That is Sunday, the 23rd at 8:14 p.m. So we have a long Capricorn full moon energy, although technically the full moon, as I said, is already on the 20th, but this is all rolling out as long as the moon is in Capricorn. And sorry, the full moon is on the 21st. I just made a mistake. And then the moon goes into Aquarius, where she meets Pluto right away, because Pluto is barely in Aquarius, currently retrograde, and so the moon will meet Aquarius on the will meet Pluto in Aquarius on the 23rd of June, and that is actually also like this is a juncture again from Capricorn to Aquarius, where it might come out of this old world of tradition, of history, and so on, right? And either we say, okay, certain things have come to completion for me, so now here's a juncture to the future, the juncture to visions for the next, so for what's to come, for us actually to collaborate with other people. And that would, rather than doing it all yourself, for example, right, with Capricorn taking a lot on, Aquarius says, actually, collaboration is so much more fun, and this is where it's at this point. And you can also say it's a juncture from Capricorn Aquarius, juncture from history to future, right? So the moon can actually help us with that transformation that Pluto in Aquarius is already indicating. So it comes up once a month when the moon meets Pluto, as long as Pluto is in Aquarius, and in this case, right after the full moon. The next full moon, the second Capricorn Cancer full moon, will be on the cusp again, framing the Cancer season. That one will be on the 21st of July, where the moon will be at the very end of Capricorn, conjunct Pluto, right? So this is also a theme for the whole Cancer season, with these two full moons and Cancer being ruled by the moon, to understand better our allegiances to memories, to the past, to what has been, and to bring that, actually also bring the best from the past into the future. So past being related to Capricorn, but also Cancer with all the memories. So then the moon will be in Aquarius a Sunday evening, all day Monday, and pretty much all day Tuesday as well. So very conducive for coming together with friends, with collaboration, teams, groups. I'm just looking at my calendar. Monday, nice collaborations coming up there. Anyway, so, and that's about it for this week's Astro Weather. Really critical time. As I said, we're moving into summer solstice and into the summer solstice full moon. Wishing you well for that transition into summer. And it's warming up here on the West Coast. Might see you outside somewhere at one of these gatherings and events for the celebration of the height of the light and tribal togetherness. Or I might see you or meet you for the first time in a session. I'm excited to meet a few new clients these days, and maybe you're one of them, and you're always welcome to spread the word. So, yeah, signing off here, and you can see me again out there in the world or next week in summer at the next Astro Weather video. Bye.